Turkey is a country of amazing landscapes. You can find there extraordinary places, beautiful lakes, unusual stone formations, extinct volcanic sites, deep canyons, famous water tourists, and other unusual places. Welcome to Extremely Locust Travels. Turkey, Part 3, the Eastern Provinces. In this episode, we'll be exploring Eastern Turkey. We'll visit the Karachay Canyon, the Forgotten Devil's Castle, the beautiful Lake Çıldır, the Aras River, the colorful Candy Cane Mountains, amazing viewpoints of Mount Ararat, and finally we'll reach Lake Van. In the previous episodes, we have shown interesting places on the way from Central Europe to Armenia. In Turkey, we can recommend such remote places as Rainbow Hills, Nalihan Bird Sanctuary, Cengovitsovin Lake Valley, in Georgia the Truso Valley, in Armenia Aragats Massif, Lake Sevan, or Lake Arpry National Park. Now it's time to go back from Armenia towards Europe and to discover some amazing Turkish landscapes. This episode focuses on Eastern Turkey. We crossed the border at the Çıldır-Artaş border control, and our first goal is the Devil's Castle, located in the picturesque canyon. Let's drive towards the nearby canyon. The canyon makes quite a big impression, and on the opposite slope stands a castle. Today it's too late to explore it. We'll come back here tomorrow. And now it's time to find a camping place for the night. We think a place at the Çıldır Lake will be perfect. Indeed, the landscapes here are very beautiful. I'm sure we'll find a nice place by the lake. And this is the place. Views are perfect, but there are a lot of insects here. We need to hide in a tent. Good night. We have another morning. The day promises to be beautiful. The Çıldır Lake looks calm and peaceful. Let's pack our things and prepare breakfast. But soon conditions will change completely. We were attacked by a swarm of small insects, so we had to drive away quickly. We drove back to the same place as yesterday afternoon, the Karachay Canyon. Now we have more time to explore this area. The canyon is located in the Çıldır district in northeastern Turkey. It was carved by the Karaçay stream flowing at the bottom of the canyon. It's a beautiful place, worth visiting, especially since it is a place mostly unknown to the tourists. The most characteristic feature here is the Devil's Castle, located on the western slopes of the canyon. Let's try to reach it. The path to the castle is accessible from the Yıldırımtepe village, and it goes high along the slope of the deep Karaçay Canyon. As you get closer to the castle, the path becomes narrower. In the end, it leads you to this forgotten structure. And here it is, Şeytan Kalesi, the Devil's Castle. Let's take a look around it. I must admit that this castle is quite impressive, considering it's a place that no one practically visits. The Devil's Castle sits on the edge of a cliff at an altitude of about 1900 meters above sea level. It's not known when the structure was built. It's possibly of Urartian origin and maybe over 1,000 years old. This castle was for centuries a Georgian stronghold known as Vaisika. The Georgian lords of Meshkia ruled these lands from 13th to 17th century. The castle was used continuously throughout these times and was renovated or modified by each of its occupiers. Now it remains one of the northeast Turkey's most spectacular fortress ruins. The Devil's Castle was perched on a cliff edge 300 meters above the Kara stream. The stream carved the Karaçay Canyon into the rocks. Getting down to the bottom of the canyon is very difficult because the slope of the canyon walls generally ranges from 45 to 80%. The dimensions of the canyon are quite impressive. It's about 7.5 kilometers long. Its width ranges from 790 meters to 1.5 kilometers. But the most interesting feature is the difference in height between the valley floor and the surface of the plateau that reaches 400 meters. The canyon is made of basalt and andesite rocks formed during the Pliocene period. The Kara stream flowing at the bottom of the canyon ends a few kilometers from here, joining the Kura River. It's time for us to move on. While returning through the Yıldırımtepe village, we have the opportunity to take a closer look at it. Except for the prayers echoing from the mosque, this village strongly resembles the poor villages we visited earlier in Armenia. Unfortunately, the eastern part of Turkey, especially the province, is very poor. Around households, just like in Armenia, bricks are made from dung and grass, serving as primary fuel source during the winter. Time for us to head further south. Today's destination are the Candy Cane Mountains, located near the border with Armenia. Once again, we are passing the Childi Lake on our way. The northern shores are especially beautiful. We'll stop here for a moment to enjoy the views. Northeastern shores are also quite picturesque. We have to go further along the eastern shore. Here grassy areas are utilized for cattle grazing. It's time to say goodbye to the Childi Lake area. We hope to come across other equally beautiful places. Let's go towards Mount Ararat. On Turkish roads there are plenty of police patrol cars, but they don't make any impression on most people. That's good, because we need to step on the gas with long distance to cover, and the Turkish roads are in excellent condition, and there is no traffic. But you need to watch for cows. Now we are close to Armenian border. In this area close to Holy Kishlak village, the weather slightly changes. Time to find a place for dinner and bathroom. This one looks fine. The Aras River will be a perfect place for that. We can cook here a really fancy dinner using these Supermag jars. Then we can take a bath in the river and watch the sunset. Time to find a place for the night. Fortunately, we managed to reach the Candy Cane Mountains before the nightfall. Time to sleep. Good night. The next morning welcomes us with an amazing view of colorful mountain peaks. It's a place called the Candy Cane Mountains. The name of the place comes from the red hills that form it. It's located not far away from Tuzluca town, near the small village of Goktash. This place is completely unknown to tourists, so you can have the entire beautiful area to yourself. The vast open spaces and unique colors will surely leave a lasting impression on everyone who visits this place. The hills look enchanting, but they would look even better in full sunlight. The cloudiness slightly diminishes the scenic beauty of this area. Let's wait a little while, perhaps the sun will break through the clouds. In the meantime, let's take a walk through the colorful valleys here. Surrounding hills are made of sedimentary rock, shale, which is composed mainly of clay minerals. The reddish color of the rocks results from the presence of oxidized iron. Also, some plants contribute to the red color of the hills. Other plants paint this place green. finally the weather improves. We can enjoy the colorful landscapes in full sunlight. Let's take a look at this land from the bird's eye view. Time for us to go further. On our way, we are passing the nearby village. Its name is probably Göktaş, but most maps don't provide any name. The majority of villages in the eastern part of Turkey are very impoverished. In this one, people also lead quite simple lives. Wood is a scarce resource here, so like in other regions of the Lesser Caucasus, the main fuel source is the bricks made from animal dung and grass. Let's head towards the highest mountain in Turkey, Mount Ararat. On the way, we can admire vast expanses to the west of Ararat Massif. The road heads to Doğubeyazıt city. The city embodies the typical Turkish ambience, lively, bustling, and crowded. The road further to the east leads to the border with Iran. We stop for a moment to admire the peaks of Little and Great Ararat. Then we want to find a local road to get closer to the massif. But no matter which road we choose, we are always stopped by the military. Accessing Mount Ararat requires purchasing permits and a guide, so we decided not to stay in this area. Let's find another viewpoint on Mount Ararat. The mountain range on the south, close to the Iranian border, will be perfect for that. Here the meadows are full of wild garlic. The mountain ranges south of Ararat Massif rise to an altitude of over 2,000 meters. From here you can see clearly both the peaks, Little and Great Ararat. The road up the mountain range is in a decent condition, but quite steep. Because of thin air at high altitudes, the engine is weak and overheats. We have to make a stop to cool down the engine. Here we can enjoy our last viewpoint of Mount Ararat. On our way further, we'll be turned back by the Turkish army. So it's time to go back. Our goal for the rest of the day is to get to the Lake Van. The way down the hill is much easier. Soon we'll get to the main road. Everywhere in the province you can observe numerous herds of livestock. At this altitude, villagers are mainly engaged in grazing animals. Girls must cover their hair. Let's go further. We already gotten used to the fake police cars. They look ridiculous. Our way further goes through old lava fields. They look quite interesting, so we stop for a while. There are some places on the way that look very creepy, like this one for example. But after a long journey, we finally got to the Lake Van. The day is coming to an end. We have to find a place for the night. This one's beautiful, but it's too close to the main road. This one's also exposed. But this one is perfect. A little bit rocky, but no one will disturb us here. Good night. In the next episodes we'll show the landscapes of Lake Van, the beautiful areas around it, the isolated Charpanak Island. Traveling southwest we'll visit the impressive Nemrut crater, forgotten stone cities, famous Nemrut mountain. We'll experience typical Cappadocian morning. We'll be amazed by the Lake Salda, by famous water terraces, by Tashiran Canyon, and other places on our way.